So guys, we have just come back from the E3 Bethesda Conference that was hosted at LA Hangar. It's kind of around the corner from the place that we're staying. We stayed there quite late. We weren't allowed to take cameras in, unfortunately, so we weren't able to shoot footage at the event, but suffice it to say that it was pretty wild. They had the conference, there was a party afterwards. Blink-182 played, which is huge. They had like epic food. They had all their things that they were talking about on display. There was a whole bunch of YouTubers there. So I thought it would just be really cool to round up 5 things that you need to know about the Bethesda Conference. You probably watched a little bit of it, you probably have seen it, maybe you've just picked up some news from other gaming websites, but there are some things that I thought were especially cool. The first one being Quake Champions. Now, like, Quake is one of my favorite FPSs, the competitive FPSs that I ever played. Now this might give away my age just a little bit, but Quake 3 Arena was one of my favorite first-person shooter competitive games that I've ever played. It did everything right. I never got quite into Quake Live. I think the community is just really talented and it's hard to break in, but Quake Champions looks like this is a way of introducing that gameplay to people outside of the Quake Live community, which means I think there'll be more balanced gameplay and I'll be very interested in playing. But the trailer that they dropped was crazy. It was a teaser trailer and they started it off with the railgun, which that's my weapon of choice. There's nothing like getting an insta-gib in a match. It doesn't even matter if you lose that match. Once you get like a sweet insta-gib with the railgun, one-shot kill, that's what I came to Quake for. They started that trailer off with it, which was just made me so happy in my heart. They said they designed it to be an excellent esport, which makes me very excited, and they're gonna drop more information about it at QuakeCon. I can't wait for QuakeCon. The second thing you need to know is that they announced a new Prey. Now, I never really played the original Prey, but obviously it got huge critical acclaim. There's a huge cult following behind the game. I know there was a lot of speculation that they would announce a Prey 2, but they haven't. This time around, they're announcing a remake of Prey, I think more in the spirit of what Prey is. So that seems to be very interesting. What they showed has made me very interested. They didn't give too much away, but you are, as a protagonist, part of some huge experiment to help the human race on another planet. You're in outer space and kind of looks like Groundhog Day. You keep on reliving the same things over and over again, but then your experiment, or the way you're having the experiment is infiltrated by a whole bunch of aliens and you got to stop them. So it's kind of psychological. It's all about fear. It's all about like stepping outside of the psychological project that these people are doing. It looks very interesting. They're really doing some cool stuff and the graphics look mind-blowing, but I like the direction they're going with that, and I'm really interested in getting my hands on this new Prey.
Good morning, Morgan. You're not going to like what I have to say next.
The third thing you need to know is that they spoke a lot about Fallout and some updates that Fallout 4 is getting. They love the community that are playing Fallout 4, and if you're part of that community, you've helped build some very exciting things that they're about to release on us. And those things are coming very soon. Some of the most exciting highlights that they mentioned was Vault Tech, the ability to create your own vault in Fallout 4 and play it. It looks like you could play it Fallout Shelter style, so it's a little bit more complex and a little bit deeper because you can build this like 3-dimensional living space and living environment, which is great. They're also including the ability to make contraptions, which obviously if you play Minecraft means that you could probably build a lot of other crazy things like conveyor belts and, you know, things that can help you produce and create new objects in the game world that you previously didn't have access to or previously couldn't because there were some functional limitations. And one of the other big ones is that Fallout Shelter is coming to the PC. If you play Fallout Shelter, you can go check. I've done a video about playing Fallout Shelter. It's a mobile game and it's really sweet and it's really addictive. If you played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And they're bringing that to the PC, so that's really exciting. The fourth thing you need to know was a bomb that they dropped out of nowhere. It's something called Bethesda VR. I mean, creative. If you follow gaming news, you might know that they've been involved in a lot of VR development, or at least employees of theirs have been involved in VR development, so it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. And they've had some of the games playable in VR before, at like last E3. For you guys that are playing the game, I think mostly on PC, so don't take my word on that, go do some research. But Fallout 4 is one that they gave, and that's coming out in 2017 to be in VR, and they even had a playable level of Doom at the convention, at the conference. I never really got to play it, so I hope to see it on the convention floor at E3. That id Tech software really supports virtual reality, which is something that's really important, I think, in game engines going forward. And lastly, the fifth thing you need to know is Dishonored 2. Now, I know Dishonored 2 has been announced, but they've got a whole bunch of info that it's made me super excited about Dishonored. I love the first Dishonored, I thought it was super cool, but to be honest, I thought I'd be okay if there wasn't a new one, but the things that they're doing in Dishonored 2 make me very excited for it. They designed a brand new place for you to execute your stealthiness in, and the world looks incredible. Actually, they emphasized the world a lot when they were talking about it, just how the new engine that they're building is creating a more atmospheric, a more immersive, a more believable, a more painted world than we've ever seen. And that's very important in a game like Dishonored, which relies a lot on art direction to give you the sense that this place really feels like you're making an impact in. And also, remember, it's kind of like in the future, so it's further ahead in Dishonored, so I feel that then you, as a player, you need to feel like there's some kind of time difference, that you've kind of, the world has changed since you've lived in it, so it's a lot brighter. They've included things like believable customs potentially that the world, that the characters, the NPCs in the world have had. So it really feels, from the footage that they gave, rather deep in a way that's hard to describe. You can just have to see the footage. The engine is called the Void engine, and they designed it in a way to make it feel like the world was a moving painting. That was kind of the approach to it, and I think that's an excellent approach. Just watch the trailer over and over again. But my favorite thing about Dishonored 2 is I think that they are taking elements from indie game developers, kind of like at least the thinking of an indie game developer, and applying it to the skill sets that your characters are using, which I think is huge. It opens up so many doors in a world of stealth games which I don't think I've had before. You know, it's everything's kind of stock standard, and this is like first and foremost a stealth game, and they've really jazzed it up. An example of that would be something called the domino effect, which is kind of this tag where you tag a couple of enemies. So if you shock that enemy, all the enemies that are tagged in that domino effect get shocked simultaneously. If you kill that enemy, if you stab that person through the mouth or whatever, then everybody that is tagged in that domino effect suffers the same fate. Very exciting. It opens up a whole new like ways of solving puzzles, stealth puzzles in that kind of world. And also something called a timepiece. You've got this timepiece that has the ability to look in the past and in the future, so it's kind of cracked on the one side, and you might be jumping through time. So you're walking through this world in the past, like it's been decrepit and it's old, and through the shattered glass on the timepiece you can see what it looks like in the present, where there are people patrolling, but they can't see you because you're kind of like voyeuristic, you're looking into it. But then you can swap time and pop up behind them, kill them, and then pop back into the past. So everything will change, like it looks new and it looks old, and then when you're in the future, you can look at what the environment looks like in the past, and that allows you to solve puzzles in a very creative way. I think it's super cool. So those are my 5 things that you need to know about the Bethesda Conference at E3 2016. If you watched it, let me know which one was your favorite of my 5. Let me know in the comments which one is getting you the most hype. I'm losing my voice. It's been so E3 has been so crazy so far, and we've only been here for like a day. If you want to see more of the videos, you can check them out. That you'll see a slider at the end of this video where you can click on some hotspots, and we've been getting up to some crazy things. Tomorrow is a huge day. We've got the Xbox conference, we've got Ubisoft, and we've got PlayStation. We're gonna try to drop those videos as soon as we can throughout the course of the week, and the convention starts this week, so I need to get some rest. I need to start focusing on the conference and get like super down to work. Thank you so much for watching this. Are you guys enjoying the E3 videos? Let me know and share them with your friends. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe if you want to find out more. Also, we're giving away a Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1080. That's huge. So if you are a PC gamer and you want to win it, or you're just a gamer who wants to start building a rig, this is probably the best card that you can start building a rig with. You can enter the competition. You can find the link in the cards and in the description below. Guys, good night. The high five, stranger. Adios, bye.